hated Esau. So you got two players here, Jacob and Esau. Okay? Let's go and pick it up at Malachi. No, excuse me. Let's figure out about Malachi. Let's go directly to the punch. Genesis 25.
The book of Genesis, chapter 25, 121 or 23.
Let's go to 20. Let's go to 21. Let's rock this.
Verse 21. And Isaac entreated the Lord for his wife.
Okay, Isaac married to a lady. Go ahead.
Because she was barren.
What does barren mean?
In the ground, it's covered in dirt.
No, barren. Barren. Not buried. Barren.
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 Empty.
Yeah, exactly. In other words, it'll reveal itself. Go ahead.
And the Lord was entreated of him, and Rebekah his wife conceived.
So he had prayed to the Lord because his wife was barren. In other words, he'd been banging, but she had not been getting pregnant. You understand what I'm saying? So now the Most High has answered his prayer because it said that, and she conceived. You see what I'm saying? Read.
And the children struggled together within her.
Now he said the children struggled together within her. The word children means plural, but not specifically where there's 10 in there, 7, 8, 4. He just said children. Read.
And she said, if it be so, why am I thus?
You know what she has a problem? Because really women look at being pregnant a blessing. Beautiful. Why am I having problems? Read.
Why am I thus? And she went to inquire of the Lord.
What a normal woman should do. Go and see somebody. Go ahead, read.
And the Lord said unto her,
What did he say?
2 nations are in thy womb.
Now, I want you to put your good ears on. Because that first statement said what?
2 nations are in thy womb.
That is a prophecy. Read.
And 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels.
That's the second prophecy. Read.
And the one people shall be stronger than the other people.
That's the third prophecy. Read.
And the elder shall serve the younger.
The elder shall serve the younger. That's the fourth prophecy. Just keep that in mind. Read.
And when her days to be delivered were fulfilled,
Read.
behold, there were twins in her
So
womb.
now we know that she only has twins, not triplets or sextuplets, and all that jazz. Read.
And the first came out red.
Say what?
And the first came out red.
So the first child came out red. This is the first, account in the Bible talking about color in birth. Read.
All over like in hairy garment.
Like what?
Like in hairy garment.
2 characteristics. Red and then all over like a hairy garment. You understand what I'm saying? All right, read.
And they called his name Esau.
They call him what?
And they called his name Esau.
Now we read Esau way back there in Romans 9:13, right? You see what I'm saying? So just keep it in mind. All right, read.
And after that came his brother out,
Okay, read.
and his hand took hold on Esau's heel.
Okay, they didn't describe his. They didn't.
Esau have I. I'm sorry. That gets me excited.
Hey, no problem. Okay, now his brother came out. We ain't talking about no color, but they're gonna describe a behavior. Read.
And his hand took hold on Esau's heel.
And that is a prophecy also. Him grabbing hold of his brother's heel on the way out. You understand what I'm saying? Read.
And his name was called Jacob.
His name was called what?
And his name was called Jacob.
So we got the 2 players in Romans 9:13. Okay? And Romans 9:13 one more time. Romans 9:13 one more time.
Romans 9:13. As it is written, Jacob have I loved,
Say, Jacob, I have loved.
but Esau have I hated.
Esau have I hated. Now this, believe it or not, this count was done while the kids was in the womb. You understand what I'm saying? Okay? So now, do you know who Esau is in the Bible today? No problem. But it described Esau, did it not?
It did.
It said that the first count in the description was that he came out, he was what color?
Red?
He came out, he was red. What color are you?
Like a pink kind of?
Somewhat. Well, what happens when you run a lot or you get in the sun?
Slaps.
Actually, my grandma's a Mexican basketball, so
So what?
I actually kind of tan, not really too bad. I'll get something.
You don't get sunburned? Okay. All right. Now, I'm going to say this. That can happen what you just said.
I do see what you're getting. I see
Okay?
what you're
What am I getting at?
getting at that turn red from the sun.
No, I said it. That can happen because the whole thing is all about a seed line, not color of parents. You understand what I'm saying? Not color of parents, because I can have an apple, split it open, take one half, throw it away, and then this here half here may have 3 or 4 seeds in it. Take each one of these seeds and go to different continents and plant those seeds, okay? And then go back about another 8 years later. What would be growing out of those seeds?
Same thing.
No, I'm not. Let's walk it. First of all, you got to give me the identification what's going to be growing out of it. It was an apple, right?
Right.
Okay, but those apples may be of different color due to the soil location. You understand what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, oh yeah. That's the same way with people. When a man married a woman, okay, the kids may come out different colors. So it's not about color. Okay, it's all about the seed line. All right. But anyway, so it said that the first came out red and all over like a hairy garment. If you take away the razor blade from you, what will happen to your surface of your body?
Be hairless.
It'd be who?
Hairless?
Yours would be hairless.
Right.
Okay, he said something. He said something. Okay, but anyway, the bottom line is this: the average Edomite today, if you take the razor blade away from them, or shaving razor, all that stuff, they'll look like almost the gorilla. In other words, all the hair on it. Because all you got to do is go on the internet and type in red and hairy, and the only people that's going to pop up,
Like the people up north in that area.
huh?
Up north in that area, like Ireland, Scotland.
That doesn't matter, but you got the idea. All right, so now you have an idea in the Bible that the so-called white people, believe it or not, are descended from the biblical nation of Israel.
Esau?
Huh? Oh, sorry. I mean, I said so-called white people come from Esau. Okay, that's the start of the father, Esau. Thank you. You see?
I see what you're saying.
All right. Now, let's do Deuteronomy 28:68. We're not gonna go into all the other details. Deuteronomy 28:68. Did slave trade happen?
Slave trade did happen.
Very good.
Can't deny that.
Very good. Hey, look, the monuments are up. Now, some places they're tearing them down. Okay, and a lot of other visual content they also are tearing down. Okay, I want you to hear this.
Deuteronomy 28:68.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 68. Here we go. Read.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again.
Now he's talking without me going into details. I can go there if you want me to go there. But anyway, he's talking about his chosen people. You know who the name of God's chosen people is? Well, that's not all of them. Okay, that's not all of them. Okay, Jews is only 3 tribes.
That's right.
That's not all. Okay? Now, there's some people that call themselves Jewish.
Like the modern day Israel, right?
Exactly. And the thing about the word Jewish, if you understand what's the word before
Prefix or something.
prefix? If you understand prefix and suffix, that ISH, if you remove that from Jewish, you're left with Jew. What does ISH mean? Pertaining to?
Like,
Acting like. Acting like. Yeah. In other words, if I were to say you're girlish, you see what I'm saying?
that's what you're saying.
I know you're gonna get it when I say that. I know you're not a girl.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Like bullies.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. So it's like pertaining to or acting like. That's why they call themselves Jewish. Because they are not the real Jew. Yeah, I hope it's Revelation 2.
Book of Revelation chapter 2, verse 9. I know thy works.
You know what?
I know thy works.
Me?
And tribulation.
Uh-huh.
And poverty.
What about it?
But thou art rich.
Now, the Jewish people, oh boy, they're rich. Hey, they own Hollywood. They own the music industry. They own the hospital system. They own the education system. You name it. As a matter of fact, they control the president. Without me going into detail. Read.
And I know the blasphemy
The filthy lie. Read.
of them which say they are Jews and are not,
The Bible said that.
but are the synagogue of Satan.
Devils. See. Okay? So now, going back to where I was, yeah, verse 68. So you already agree that that did happen. And believe it or not, Moses prophesied this over 3,500 years ago. Okay? Read.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again.
Now, as some of the brothers say, that Egypt is a cold word. Okay? Which means what?
Exodus 20:2. I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage.
So when the Israelites, or the nation of Israel, or the name of God's chosen people, did we pull out Isaiah 44:1?
Yes.
Let's get that.
Isaiah 44:1.
Because everything that I say got to be backed up. Hey, I'm told to do that. You know what I'm saying?
Yet now hear,
Read.
O Jacob,
Uh-huh.
my servant, and Israel,
And who?
and Israel,
Who?
whom I have chosen.
Most High chose Israel. You know what I'm saying? Now, while we got Jacob, let's see the relationship between Israel and Jacob. 2 Kings 17:34.
2 Kings, chapter 17.
While we got Jacob here, we want to see the relationship between Israel and Jacob.
And verse 34.
Now listen carefully.
Unto this day, they do after the former manners, they fear not the Lord, neither do they after their statutes, or after their ordinances, or after the law and commandment, which the Lord commanded the children of Jacob,
Now here we go.
whom he named Israel.
Name who?
Whom he named Israel.
So Jacob is the forefather of the biblical nation of Israel, who's also God's chosen people and also who God loves. Okay? So now, let's finish it up. Let's finish it up. So what we found out is one more part in 28, Deuteronomy 28. That's the monument. So what happened at the monument? What happened at the monument? Just read that part.
And there ye shall be sold Until
who were we sold to? Huh?
I don't know.
Well, the so-called white people.
Oh, that line there, particularly.
No, even the slaves, all over. Because we was carried to various places here throughout the whole South until they had the Civil War. Anyway, my point basically is this: Esau. This is who we were sold to. Because come to find out that we are descendants of Jacob. That's what we are the descendants of Jacob. If we can trace our lineage of our forefathers back to the slave trade, then that makes me a descendant of the biblical nation of Israel.
that's right.
And I can do that. I can.
Not
Huh?
knowledgeable enough to.
That's no problem. That is no problem. That is no problem. So, if you don't know who you truly are, okay, because it's really all about the descendants of Israel. All right? The rest of the people, they got a problem. Okay? Let's go to the end game known as Revelation, chapter 13.
Book of Revelation, chapter 13, verse 9.
Now, the book of Revelation has 22 chapters in it. Okay, so right now we're at chapter 13. Read.
If any man have an ear,
Uh-oh, I know you got 2 ears, right? Read.
let him hear.
Okay?
He that leadeth into captivity,
If your forefathers, okay, led someone into captivity, sold somebody into captivity, okay? Read.
shall go into captivity.
Read.
He that killeth with the sword,
And if you kill people today, the sword today is, you know what I mean? So if you kill people today, okay, go ahead. All right.
must
read.
be killed with the sword. Here's the patience and the faith of the saints.
Now, what he just put on the table is this. We're being, now, yes, there is killing among what is called the so-called black people. There is. Ain't no doubt about that. Okay? But I'm going to tell you something. Very early 60s, might be late 50s, when our family structure was pretty much destroyed. Not totally destroyed. You know, we still have families that are intact.
Nuclear families.
Huh?
Nuclear families.
Yeah, we still have families intact. But all those project situations, you know, folks living in the project, and I'm sure you probably know that a lot of our women were put in those projects and they couldn't have a man in the project. Huh?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they couldn't have a man in the project. They had the kids there, they couldn't have a man in the project. Okay? He was breaking up, the so-called white man was breaking up the family structure of God's chosen people. You see? Then it got even worse after that. Now that's the early 60s. Might have been in late 50s, okay? Then what he did was the so-called white man brought railroad cars, maybe 1 or 2, I don't know, left the door open, and on the floor of the railroad cars were weapons. All they did was tell some young black kid or whatever, I know where some weapons are. This is how the weapons got into our community. You understand what I'm saying? Okay? Because they didn't have the money to buy no weapons. We was poor.
Like the crack epidemic.
And that's the second phase. That is the second phase. They used one of their own people to take the bullet. His name was Colonel North. Colonel North was in charge of that. All the transportation of the drugs from South America here to America. Because we did not bring the drugs here. We don't own the airplane. We don't own those ships. stuff was coming from South America. When they beat those folks in South America, okay, this is right during the time of Vietnam War, then the drugs came from Vietnam. You know what I'm talking about, right? I know. You see, I got an individual that, well, that's another one, but what I'm saying, I got an individual that he was so cool and smooth that the FBI created a task force for him. And this guy's from Goldsboro, North Carolina. You know, with the drugs. And what it was, he was in Vietnam and he found a way to ship the drugs back to his boys. He was a so-called black man. Okay? He used to put it in the casket of the dead soldiers. Ah, I got the book.
That's wicked.
You know, I got the book.
That's wicked.
You see. So now, once again, this is what you got to look for if you're not a descendant of the biblical nation Israel. Back to Revelation chapter 13 and read 9 and 10.
Book of Revelation, chapter 13 and verse 9. I got it. Book of Revelation, chapter 13, verse 9. If any man have an ear, let him hear.
That's right.
He that leadeth into captivity
If your forefather led somebody in captivity, read.
shall go into captivity.
And what's the next one?
He that killeth with the sword
If we're shot down in the street, whatever case may be, hung, and all this other jazz, read.
must be killed with the sword.
It's going to happen because, see, the so-called white man has not received any judgment for all the atrocities that he has done ever since he came to New York.
That's right.
He has not received it. The Most High set this here kingdom up special. And let me tell you why. Or not so much why, but let me tell you how you know he set it up special. What is the only nation that dropped an atomic bomb on another nation? What nation has the most embassy around the world? What nation at one time had the most soldiers stationed around the world? Oh, you see what I'm saying? As a matter of fact, give me Job chapter what? 9:24.
Book of Job, chapter 9, verse 24.
Read.
The earth is given into the hand of the wicked.
That's what the Bible said. In other words, that was a prophecy also. Okay, the earth is given to the hand of the wicked. You see, that's you know, like you got a coin, and you know, one side said head, and the other side said tail. Okay, well then there's a spiritual coin, and one side says wicked, and the other side says righteousness.
That's right.
You understand what I'm saying? Okay, it's just like when you read Romans chapter 9, verse 13. It was just two sides of a coin. Jacob have I loved, huh? Esau have I what? Hated.
So I got a question.
Go ahead.
Right? So,
Go ahead.
So you were saying that like the U.S., you know, they're stationed everywhere. They have an association.
Used to be.
Right?
Used to be. Because they cut it down. They had
Cut
to.
it down.
Go ahead.
But we still do have the most around the world overall.
I would venture to say that, but go ahead.
Okay. So like, what if that changes? Let's say.
What does it change? What do you mean?
Like, let's say someone else becomes the next number one, Russia, China, whatever.
You don't have to worry about that.
You don't have to worry about that.
But I'll tell you what's going to happen though. Right now, as we speak, a lot of people don't realize it, but Putin, it says that there's going to be hooks in his what?
Mouth.
In his mouth to turn him around. And that's what's going on. They're not telling you this. They don't want you to know the prophecy. They don't want you to know. This place here called what is called America. It was specifically created, but it's going to be destroyed.
I can see that.
I'm serious. It's going to be destroyed. Do you know how it's going to be destroyed? No problem. Give it.
I got a quick precept for you.
No, go ahead. Do you think? I'm sorry.
It's the book of Exodus, chapter 21, and verse 16. And he that stealeth a man and selleth him, or if he be found in his hand, he shall surely be put to death.
He said, he that stealeth a man and sell him. Where we sold on the auction block, so-called black people, Native Americans, Indians, Hispanics.
I don't know about Hispanics.
Oh, see, you forgot about Christopher Columbus.
I was thinking more.
You forgot about Christopher Columbus. You see what I'm saying? See? Okay. But my point is that he said, he that what?
And he that stealeth a man and selleth him.
And when Christopher Columbus came over here and jacked up the Northern Kingdom, jacked them up, and then took some of them back to Spain. Then they took some of them from Spain to England, and then brought some of them back here again. You see, they did all kinds of stuff, bro. But now, let me have Zechariah chapter 11, verse 5. I want you to pay attention to this. Make sure you got your ears on.
Book of Zechariah, chapter 11, and verse 5.
And then try to understand the definition of the words that's coming out. Read.
Whose possessors.
And what does a possessor mean?
They want in possession. They have their possession.
Exactly. You got it there. You see what I'm saying? Read.
Slay them.
Uh-oh. That's in the Bible.
Zechariah.
Yeah. You asked for the code. The reference on that. That means that it touched you in some sort of way. You want to check that out. Zechariah chapter 11, verse 5. Okay, continue to read.
And hold themselves not guilty.
Now, that phrase, they slay us, and then they hold themselves not guilty. Because I'm going to tell you this, it's twofold. It wasn't not time yet for Esau to get, you understand what I'm saying? What is due to him. And it ain't good. And it ain't good. You see? Wait to see it go by. And the reason, and one of the main reasons is that the Most High, okay, he has put Esau in control, where we were speaking in Job 9:24, okay, Job 9:24, and Esau is going to be the last action as far as killing is concerned. Esau has not, as I have said already before we read this, Esau has not been charged with all the atrocity that he has done to the slaves that have come over here. You see?
I see what you're saying.
You see what I'm saying? So his ticket has been mounted up. Mounted up. You see? That's the Most High's doing. The Most High jacked our behind up. We are scattered in all major nations. But while we're there, we're at the bottom. So going back to Zechariah 11:5, one more time.
Zechariah 11 and 5. Whose possessors slay them.
So we know that it's so-called white man that slayed us. Read.
And hold themselves not
They
guilty.
don't hold themselves guilty. They go to court and they're never found guilty. Read.
And they that sell them say, Blessed be the Lord, for I am rich.
They got rich because they didn't have to pay us while we was deep in slavery, that is.
That's right.
They did not have to pay us while we were deep in slavery. You know, when you're a slave, you don't get paid. You just barely get something to eat, barely get some clothes. Yeah, exactly. But then when you after the Civil War, the only thing that Civil War was about, I'm gonna put it to you this way, changing the hand of the ownership from plantation owners to what?
Business.
Yeah, but another word is corporation. So what happened? They started building all these prisons and all these businesses that you think about for the most part. They get free labor. And those who were in prison, who's the most people in prison?
African Americans.
Not only that,
Hispanics.
not only that,
White people.
no, the Indians.
Oh, Indians.
Oh,
Really?
oh yeah. Do your research. That's the only thing I can tell you. Go ahead, bring it up.
Book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 6, verse 9.
Read.
For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of that followeth.
Now, what he just brought out is a prophecy. Because we already read to you Romans 9, Romans chapter 9, verse 13. Where he told you that Jacob, I have what? I have love, but Esau I have what? Okay. Now, he just gave you part of the end game. Okay? And he just said that what now? One more time. Want to read that one more time?
Book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 6, verse 9.
Uh-huh.
For Esau is the end of the world.
Esau is the end of the world. And believe it or not, that is in the process right now as we speak. How much do you know about all the landslides and hurricane, the flooding, the wildfires that's going on throughout the world as we speak? You better believe it. And see, you would, as a matter of fact, it's just starting a little bit here. But see, this right here is saved for last.
The wars,
Huh?
the wars.
No, I'm talking about the destruction. Just the destruction. Saved for last. Anyway, well, you got something? You got something?
I mean, what I was reading.
Oh, what was that?
69.
Okay, finish it. Let's finish it out.
For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth.
Okay? All right. So, back. I'm sorry. So what?
11:5?
Yeah. Because there's another piece on that. It's got to be made clear.
Zechariah 11:5.
Uh-huh.
Whose possessors slay them
Uh-huh.
and hold themselves not guilty.
So like I said, they go to court, they're not found guilty. And the reason I've learned that they're not found guilty is because the Most High is going to take care of it. Okay? In other words, the table's going to be flipped. See, right now, we did have Job 9:24, right? Okay, we had Job 9:24. And it stated that the earth is given into what? The hand of the who? Exactly. Okay? Let's finish Job 9:24 as well, after that phrase there.
And they that sell them say,
They that sell what?
and they that sell them say,
Say, what did it say?
blessed be the Lord,
Uh-huh.
for I am rich,
Okay, that's Esau again. Go ahead.
and their own shepherds.
Now, when it says own shepherds, shepherds are the pastors that have been set up by Esau in these churches to teach us lies. I know this heavy tape.
That is one of the hottest tapes out there.
I know that. I know that. I know that. You see? But I can tap dance on that one too. Okay? So you got the now the last part of that, it said what one more time, the last part of it?
And their own shepherds.
Their own shepherd. Now, their own shepherds means the the so-called pastors in the churches that had been set up for us to lie to us. And what those pastors, what they get out of it is 501c3. That is to say that they can get all the money from just lying to us. And a lot of folks are giving up a lot of their money because they don't know no better. They just believe in what the pastors say. These pastors, they have been set up and they went through what is called seminary school. I call them cemetery school. What's in the cemetery? Proverbs chapter 21, verse 16.
Book of Proverbs chapter 21 and verse 16. The man that wandereth out of the way of understanding.
Read that one more time.
The man that wandereth out of the way of understanding.
What about it?
Shall remain in the congregation of the dead.
That's why I call it cemetery. You see? That's why I call it cemetery. Okay, because when they come out of those seminar schools, those religious schools, they have different doctrines. They have different doctrines. And they're teaching people a bunch of lies, keeping them from the truth of the Bible.
Bread and circus.
Huh?
Bread and circus. You ever heard that term?
No, I haven't heard.
Just means you give the people bread and circus, they'll never stand up. Like Rome.
Okay, all right.
It's like all this, like back in Rome, you know, way back when.
I got you now.
You know, people, they never did anything, even as stuff was getting worse, because they had bread and circus. They never had to worry about food, they had entertainments, and they didn't care.
That's what's going on now.
The Will Smith thing.
That is what's going on now. You understand what I'm saying? That's what the football stuff is all about. That's what baseball is all about. I can go on and on. Boxing, all that stuff there. That's what, well, of course, I'm gonna say this right here. Some of the movies are A-okay if you're in the truth. Because by being in the truth, Most High actually take the scales off your eyes so you're able to see, okay, what he wants you to see, all right? But that's what the music industry is, the movie industry is. I can go on and on. It's distraction from here, okay? All right, anyway, so Romans,
24.
Yeah, 9 and 24. And give me
The book of Job,
in the Apocrypha.
chapter 9 and verse 24. 24.
348. You know that?
The earth is given into the hand of the wicked.
Okay, now we're going to the second part of this.
He covereth the faces of the judges thereof.
Okay, now we're going to find out who the judges is. Okay, hold that part and give me Matthew 19 and 37. And we're going to read 27 and 28.
Book of Matthew, chapter 19 and verse 27.
Yes, thank you.
Then answered Peter and said unto him, Behold,
Now Peter happened to be the number one apostle. Okay? Read.
we have forsaken all and followed thee.
And he is speaking on behalf of the other apostles. Read.
What shall we have therefore?
He said, what shall we have therefore? We gave up our jobs we had and all kinds of stuff, just to follow him. Okay, what are we going to have? Read.
And Yahweh said unto them,
What do you say?
Verily I say unto you,
Read.
that ye which have followed me.
Hold on a minute. Hey, brother. How you doing?
Yeah.
Huh? Is that, I'm sorry. Excuse me. But anyway, keep the commandments in faith. Yeah, bye. Okay, anyway, back to Matthew.
In the regeneration, when the Son of Man shall sit in the throne of his glory.
Okay, the Son of Man, Now, it said in the regeneration. You understand what I'm saying? You have any idea what regeneration is?
Like if you cut off an octopus, like a starfish,
Excuse me for a
it
moment.
comes back.
Excuse me for a moment. Young lady, you got to keep your commandments in the faith. Because I know she ain't coming. Okay, go ahead.
Like it regenerates, like it comes back. Like
Okay, all right. That's one. But here's the thing: in the scriptures, regeneration represents a man who has a child, and we talk about male, and then that male has a child that is a male. See, regenerated. Regenerate. You see what I'm saying?
I see it now.
Okay, that's regeneration in the Bible. Okay, see, a lot of people talk about reincarnation. The problem with using that is that reincarnation, you can die and come back as a fly. Isn't that the concept? Okay, but regeneration in the Bible means that you're generating children. Read.
Ye also shall sit upon 12 thrones.
He said, you also shall sit. Now this is who the world ignorant called Jesus Christ. He's speaking here. What color the letters there?
Red.
You see what I'm saying? And he's telling some group of people, you're also going to sit on 12 thrones. Okay? You understand what I'm saying? And he's talking about, all right, he's talking about the name of the tribes right here. Okay? But in this here particular verse, it's not all of the tribes. Okay? It's not all of the tribes. All right, just members of certain tribes here. Just make that clear. All right? Now, at this point right here, this is who we call Jesus. He's talking to his disciples. Okay? He's talking to his disciples. Go ahead, let's continue.
Judging the 12 tribes of Israel.
And he's talking, like I said, his disciples, they're going to be with him. When he comes back, they're going to be with him, as he have said, that they're going to be sitting on how many thrones?
12 thrones.
That represents one for each. See what I'm saying? Okay? Judging. Oh, have mercy. I just hope I'm just in the kingdom. I don't have to be a judge. You still want that? Yes. We're going back to Job 9:24. And we're going to pick up on the latter part of this here. Man, that's back to Job 9:24.
Job 9:24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked.
Read.
He covered the faces of the judges thereof.
Yeah. We just read about the judges. Okay? In history, you know, you can go on, believe it or not, you can go on YouTube right now. And you can type in Russian icons. Say it again to them.
Russian icons.
Russian icon. As a matter of fact, they got a book that costs several $1,000s. The reason why they jack the price up because they don't want people like me to have it. They said they ain't gonna spend no them now. You see what I'm saying? So they jack the price up, keep it out of my hand. But here's the deal. Who's on this here?
Jesus Christ.
Okay, that's what they said. Right.
That's what they say.
All right.
See that?
Very good. Now,
Jalen Baker.
Now, when it says that what he just read, so they cover the faces of the judges thereof. You got that so far? Now, let's go in here and let's see and expand this a little bit more. Maccabees, go ahead.
Book of First Maccabees,
Book of First Maccabees.
chapter 3,
Read.
verse 48. And laid open the book of the law.
Once we was in captivity, they took our records and they did some things to it. Read.
Wherein the heathen has sought to paint the likeness of their images.
In other words, you go back to these Bibles, for the most part, they got pictures in them. What do the people look like that's in those images? Yeah, so-called white folks. You see what I'm saying?
I wouldn't say all white.
Huh?
I wouldn't say completely white.
No, I'm just saying so-called white folks. That's why I say so-called white folks. You see what I'm saying? See, look. They didn't. Esau did not start calling himself white until he came over here in 1700. Before he came over here, he wasn't calling himself white in Europe and all these other places. He called them by the land that they was in. Exactly. When they came over here in 1700s, that's when they started calling themselves white.
Makes sense.
Now that's history. It's you know one thing, since they know that we're out here now dropping beautiful gumdrops, which is known as the truth, now they're starting to bring out the truth. You see, they're starting to bring out the truth. All right? So, all right, anyway, so we're at the same point here where once we were taken down, they took our records and then they started changing stuff, because see, a lot of them know the prophecy just as good as we do. They know that these jokers are going to wake up.
Them is in, like you said, a lot of them know the prophecy.
Oh, let's take, for instance, let's start from the top. Amalekites. That's the top level of, better known as the Jewish folks.
The Illuminati, Rothschilds, Rockefeller.
All of them. Thank you, brother. Thank you.
Hofstetters and
Thank you.
Hunts,
All of them.
Goldsteins.
Weinstein,
Yeah,
all of them. Steve.
They're trying to beat the prophecy today. They're trying to beat the prophecy today. Okay, let's go ahead and continue this. Okay, so as he said, to cover the faces of the judges. So the judges is us. You see, the judges is us. And as I have actually, in other words, the brother read Matthew chapter 19, verse what? The last verse? 28. You see, where Yahushua, okay, his name is not Jesus, okay? The guy in the Bible, his name is not Jesus. You see? First and foremost, letter J did not come out until 1634. So what was his name before that? Well, never mind, ISIS. That's Greek. But then what was his name before ISIS? No problem. We'll give you the language. And let me have Acts chapter 26, verse 14. We'll give you the language. The name of the language.
For Acts chapter 26,
verse 14.
and verse 14.
Read.
And when we were all fallen to the earth, I heard a voice speaking unto me.
Now this happened to be Peter in the Bible. Excuse me, I mean
Paul.
Paul in the Bible. Okay, this is Paul in the Bible, and he had some companions with him. He's on their way to Damascus. Read.
And saying in the Hebrew tongue.
In the what tongue?
In the Hebrew tongue.
So now you got the language. Just to further substantiate that, read.
So, why persecutest thou me? It is hard for thee to kick against the pricks. And I said, who art thou, Lord?
Now he asked, like, who's speaking to me? Because he was blinded. You understand what I'm saying? He was riding whatever little transportation he had, a donkey or whatever, I don't know. Anyway, he was blind and fell down to the ground and couldn't see. But he heard a voice. He said, ask who it was. What did he say?
And he said, I am Yahushua, whom
No, read it according to what.
I am Jesus.
You see what I'm saying? Okay, so I'm saying his name is not Jesus. You see? Okay, so we know that he spoke Hebrew. Now, there's no letter J in Hebrew. See? Where they have J, it's supposed to be a Y there.
Like Yahshua.
Well,
I was shy.
I'm going to say this right here. You said Joshua or Yahshua?
Yahshua.
Well, that's another misnomer. Okay? Yeah, like you said, that's Yiddish. Okay? That came out, they said Yiddish, all that stuff came out a little bit, before 1948, before the Jews went over there. Those are Jewish folks, Zionists, before they went over there in Palestine and took over the land. They spoke Yiddish. You see, they spoke Yiddish. And it was comprised of almost like 3 different languages. Yeah.
I have to admit, I gotta get going now.
No problem. But now, so now you know what your judgment is going to be then if you're not one of God's chosen people. See what I'm saying? If you're not one of God's chosen people. You see? So now you know what your judgment is going to be.
Y'all come here often? Like this area?
I'm going to say, yeah. Yeah, I'm coming out here as long as the Most High send me out here. I'm serious, because see, I'm gonna tell you something. I wouldn't be out here. I was sent out here. Matthew 22:9.
Matthew chapter
I was
22.
sent out here. I didn't come out here on my own.
And verse 9.
I was trying to do some big things, in my life that I thought was big. But listen to this one more time. Read it, the label.
Matthew chapter 22 and verse 9.
Read.
Go ye therefore into the highways.
This is the highway, traffic. People walking, bicycle, motorcycle, cars. People running. This is a highway. Read.
And as many as ye shall find,
What?
bid to the marriage.
And that's all I'm doing. You see?
I see.
Everything is coming out of here, not out of my mouth.
Enjoy the rest of y'all's day.
Hey, you gotta get ready for, you need to find out the seed line. If you don't, you know what you're up to. All right. So with that, Jeremiah 3:15.
Jeremiah chapter 3 and verse 15.
Read.
And I will give you pastors.
Give you what?
And I will give you pastors
Read.
according to mine heart,
Read.
which shall feed you with knowledge.
With what?
With knowledge.
Okay, let's find out what that knowledge is. Malachi chapter 2 verse 7. Let's find out what that knowledge is. Chapter 2 verse 7.
Malachi chapter 2 and verse 7.
Read.
For the priest's lips.
For who?
For the priest's lips.
Shall do what?
So to keep knowledge.
And go ahead.
And they shall seek the law at his mouth.
We are to seek the law at the priest's lips. You see. Okay, back to Jeremiah 3:15.
Jeremiah 3 and 15.
It would take, go ahead.
And I will give you pastors
Read.
according to mine heart,
Uh-huh.
which shall feed you with knowledge.
Feed you with knowledge. And I like that concept. It says, feed you. Feed you. You think about eating something. Okay? And eating, generally speaking, we're eating food. You see, Huh? Okay. Most people think about just food. But this type of food here is a little different. And this food here, if you eat this, oh, you won't go hungry. Yes. And even the water that we give you, you sure won't become thirsty. Lord, have mercy. Read.
And understanding. And it shall come to pass.
Okay, before we go to pass, okay, he said, and under what?
Understanding.
And understanding. And how you get understanding, first of all, you got to go to what?
So,
What?
the book of Psalms,
That's right. Go ahead, dude.
chapter 119,
Uh-huh.
and verse 142.
Now let's try 4.
Verse 4.
Yeah. And then we're going to go to 104.
That thou
Huh?
hast commanded us to keep thy precepts.
First and foremost, you got to understand that it is a commandment. Okay? It is a commandment that you got to do what?
Keep thy precepts
Read.
diligently.
Uh-huh. Now, we're going to find out how diligently in verse 104. Read.
Psalm 119, verse 104.
Read.
Through thy precepts I get.
Oh, man. Hey, brother. Huh? You got to keep the commandments in the faith.
Right.
If you're good. Because if you don't, it won't be good for you.
That's right.
Read.
Through thy precepts.
Through what?
Through thy precepts I get understanding.
And this is how you get understanding. You get it through precepts. Okay? Not any other way. Get it? Young ladies, can I ask you two a question?
Yes.
Please, I like that. Okay? And the question is this. What's the name of the nation that you're from?
I believe it's the tribe of Judah.
Oh, tonight, that lets me know that you know something.
Yes, I do.
That's what it tells me.
I do.
Okay? Well, ladies, I'm going to tell you this. Now, since you know that, okay, I don't know how you got it. It's beautiful. Since you know that, did you know that women are not supposed to be wearing pants?
Yeah, I know all of that. Trust me, I know all that.
But then, if you want to make it to the kingdom, you got to keep the commandments of God. If you don't, you're behind and going to burn. I'm telling you.
It's hard to hang up.
No, it ain't about that. Because see, there's all kinds of material that you can use to make yourself comfortable. You see what I'm saying? I'm saying. Don't give excuse to your house because he's not going to kill you.
Everything
So-
you got is, I know.
Look, I like your spirit. That last statement that you made, I like your spirit. Because we're not speaking our own words.
Oh, trust me, I know.
I like your spirit.
Yeah.
Because it was an angel only addressed the pants.
Well, look,
Dressed
I'm
like the same sex issue.
so what now?
I'm saying that.
So what?
You didn't address the same sex issue. You only addressed the pants.
Well, look, if that's, look, but here's the deal. If that is the case between the two, the scripture tells you plainly.
Yeah, it does. It
Okay,
does.
all right then, so why do I have to say if you already know?
Don't.
But I respect the
You
fact
already
that you
know.
chose your words wisely not to say that. Like you took a different angle, so I respect that.
I got you.
We do know.
I know you know. Okay, and I'm gonna say this. What's going on right now? There's a lot of stuff that's going on right now. How are you going to dodge that? How are you going to dodge it? The only way you can dodge it, you got to keep the commandments in the face. Bring that out.
Revelation chapter 14 and verse 12.
Now, Revelation is the last book of the Bible. Not only that, huh? Okay, not only that, we almost at the end of the Bible. It only has 22 chapters. Read it, brother.
Here is the patience of the saints Here are they that keep the commandments of God and the faith of Jesus.
Oh, you got to keep the commandments. And you know the reason why you got to keep the commandments? Because the Christian church tells you that all it's about faith, 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 faith. James chapter 2, verse 22. Let your ears ponder this.
James chapter 2 and verse 22.
Now listen carefully.
Seest thou how faith wrought with his works?
Now start that over again because now they're getting happy now.
Seest thou how faith wrought with his works, and by works was faith made perfect?
In other words, works makes faith perfect. So with that in mind, go to for the young. There you go.
Verse 26.
To me, that's action.
Yeah, it's a form of action. You got to do something to make faith perfect. You bring up the one where the young man and he. Yeah. 1916.
Yeah, we'll get that now after 26.
Well, go ahead. Do the 26. Because, yeah, we're going to do it. Yeah, we're going to do it.
Verse 26. For as the body without the spirit is dead,
The body without the spirit is dead.
so faith without works is dead also.
Huh? Okay, so see, people talk about faith, but they're missing also another large part. That's the works. Now that works is you get it from the commandments, the law. That's where you're gonna get it from. So if you don't keep the law and the commandments, you know, there's gonna come a time where the fire's behind you, you can't even blow the fire out. It's gonna catch you. So you already know. You know, like I said, when you were over there, you said one thing. I realized I need to know something. So I'm not gonna beat no horse, no dead horse today. I'm just out here to try to give you this eternal life. I'm listening. Am I married? I am married to this word.
That's right.
I don't have a woman. I was wicked. I'm serious. I didn't know that I didn't know that I had as many wives as the Bible said that I had. You understand what I'm saying?
I get it.
Now, all I gave you was just love. But not the love that the so-called white man has taught us about.
Right.
Well, you make the right to that because you don't believe in what the white man said anything.
I'm just saying,
So,
I'm just saying,
whatever you preach, we can back it up.
hey, it's coming out of here.
Right, absolutely.
It's
So,
coming out of
you know,
here. I don't speak my own word. That's Isaiah chapter 8, verse 20. Listen carefully. Isaiah 8:20. But ladies, I still like to see you guys naked. Not burn up. You gotta get out those pants to start. Look at that sign right there. Look at that sign right there.
It is, but can I
Look at that sign right there.
Can I ask you a question?
You can, you can.
Okay.
You
So,
can.
my question is, you have to change with the
So what now?
You have to change with the times. Like, I know the word.
That's not a question. You didn't ask me no question. That's a
We're
statement.
going to get to it yet.
But go ahead then.
Alright, so my thing is that you know the word, right?
You know the what?
You know the word. You was raised properly to me. She knows the word, I know the word.
What's the word?
But at the end of the day, my thing is that you have to be able to change with the times.
Hey, but see, here's the deal.
So,
That's-
wait, hold on.
Go ahead.
Hold on. Because I could be still just as strong Y'all believe that
I could be.
Hispanics. Y'all believe that
Hold on, wait a
Hispanics.
minute. Hold
Hold on, let me ask
You
him
next.
this.
No.
Let me ask him
No,
this, though.
you next.
Y'all believe
No,
that
no, look.
Hispanics and Indians are the 12 tribes of Israel, right?
So what?
But Hispanics and Indians, they don't go through the same thing. They don't go through the same things that we go through.
Who told you that?
They don't.
I said, who told you
That's,
that?
I mean, that's proven. That's,
No.
that's
I
things
said,
that's
who
proven.
told you that?
That's things that we can see in our own
I
eyes.
said, who told you that?
It's
Work,
nothing.
life,
It's nothing that's being
like the
told.
black
It's something that we
person
can
told her
see. It's something that we can see in our own eyes.
Okay.
Hispanics and Native American Indians don't go through the
Slow
same
down.
thing
Go
that
ahead.
we
Go ahead.
through, though.
Listen,
That's
my
the
brother
thing.
wanted.
But the 12 tribes of Israel,
We're
the
gonna
12 tribes of Israel is black.
we're gonna address that. No, we're gonna
Black
address
period.
that. Behold,
Okay.
we're gonna address it. Go ahead.
I don't see Native American Indians and Hispanics getting shot up in the street.
Wait a minute. I said we're gonna deal with that. Let my
Okay.
brother. He got something he wanna. Hey, come on, brother.
This is the book of Zephaniah,
Lord, have mercy.
chapter 1 and verse 8.
Read.
And it reads, now this is a prophecy.
Yeah, I know.
Zephaniah 1 and 8.
Uh-huh.
And it shall come to pass
Read.
in the day of the Lord's sacrifice
Uh.
that I will punish the princes and the king's children and all such that are clothed with strange apparel.
Y'all do know Hispanic people and
Wait a minute, we're
are
gonna
white,
address
though,
that.
right?
We're gonna address that,
But
that goes back to. Look, we're gonna address that, ladies. Okay. But did you understand what he just put on the table?
Like, what, at the end of the day, you gotta look at both sides. Like, I'm
Who's
Who's going to be punished? Who punished? Us?
Don't come out those kids. They didn't change your minister didn't change it.
it's like, see that street sign right there? That really close to the street sign. So, man,
I'm not worried about that. I agree with that.
Women should be in skirts.
yeah, but
I
I'm
agree with
what I want
with that.
because
But the
I
whole
Look at
Hispanic and Native American Indian thing, those are
Right,
my
I am.
people.
That's what you
So
gotta change.
are you
Your mindset,
so are
you
you
change with the
saying
time.
that all of the
Like,
Israelites
stuff
are
like that
dark
don't
skinned?
change with the time.
All
agree.
the 12
I agree.
tribes, the 12 tribes of Israel is
Right,
black.
in some perspective,
Are you,
It's black.
what do you mean black?
You can't sit up there and say that Hispanics, okay, because my thing is this, you can't